Welcome to the Redirect Podcast. My name is Abigail Hewins.
And I'm Emily Rojas. The Redirect Podcast is a show where we shift the conversation back to books. We discuss themes from some of our favorite books and how those themes show up in real lived experiences.
On today's episode, we're discussing the iconic queer romance novel turned Amazon Prime original movie, Red, White, and Royal Blue.
But first, if you've been enjoying the podcast, we would humbly ask that you support us in a few very simple ways. First, if you haven't already, I would love for you to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and just let us know that you're loving the show.
We'd also love for you to follow us on Instagram at Redirect Podcast if you haven't already. And if you have, boost us on your Instagram. Share our posts on your stories. And finally, if you really, really like the show, we'd love for you to share it with a friend. Sharing our show with a friend is by far the best way to help grow our community of book-loving nerds.
Exactly. And who better what better episode to bring them in on than this one, where we talk about this book that is, I have never seen, I don't know, I've seen so much of it. It's like top tier of amount of times I've seen it talked about on the internet.
Well, yeah, so so you and I both just recently read it. And right. I think part of the reason there's a couple of reasons I didn't read it. And I would be curious until now, because it came out in 2019. I didn't read it, one, because I was like, liking boys, love it, but how am I going to see myself in this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad this exists, but like, am I going to get this? Where like, I read Casey McQuiston's other book,
One Last Stop,
which is two girls. And I was like, oh yeah, I could, even though I'm not a lesbian, I could see myself in this.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway.
We've talked about this before, but then we've also been on a streak of really liking male queers. So maybe we're wrong. We are wrong.
We are wrong. We were wrong.
But it is one of those things where it's like, you know, even books like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, Lord of the Flies, isn't that a bunch? I've never read that book. I never got assigned it in school.
It's for boys. A bunch of boys. Only.
If there's a bunch of boy characters, even if it's not a romance, I'm not automatically going to put that at the top of my list. And you didn't like One Last Stop. So I wonder if that also turned you away, because
it kind of did.
Yeah. But I really liked One Last. I didn't even realize it was the same author until I got the book this week I got the audiobook, which I have a lot of things to say about that. But I noticed the author. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen this book so many times. I really liked One Last Stop. And then I never connected that it was the same author. So that's on me. Yeah.
What happened for me wanting to read this book was some of the girls in my book club were like, oh, like, we love this book. The Amazon Prime movie is coming out. Like, let's... Right. My friend Nikki was like, hey, like, I'm gonna have a bunch of people over my house and we can watch it. And then I was like, okay, so I'll finally read it. And then I happened to find it in my little free library, which I feel like I just shout out my little free library all the time. Yeah. But I have mine is
You guys have the best books. Every little free library I go to is either completely empty or diet books, religious books.
Okay. I kind of don't want to say where my little free library is for the LA people, because I really want to gatekeep that. But anyways, it's really good.
Yeah, my parents are building a little free library. They own a welding shop, and they're working on building one out of metal. I will stock this because I want it to be good. So it's good for me, part with some books, but also...
I mean, look, not every book is great in the little free library.
Sure,
but
sure.
I got Red, White, and Royal Blue, and let's jump to the chase. I really liked it.
I really liked it. Well, okay, starting off, and I blame the audiobook for this, to be honest, because the narrator, no disrespect to this man... I'm sorry to this man. His voice is so not the vibe.
Hard to listen to.
Very hard to listen. It sounds like, okay, you're not on TikTok at the moment, but I don't know if you've seen it maybe on Reels, but there's this TikTok trend right now where women will like prank their husbands with this voicemail that the creepy neighbor left them, where it's like, I must have you and I will I don't know what he says, but that was the voice this guy was giving me, is like kind of creepy guy, older guy. It sounded like at least 30 to 40 years old.
And the main characters are like 22.
Yeah, and I think honestly he probably got the job because he could really do the Spanish stuff. He could do the British accents. Like, his accent work was great. So I can't fault him for that. But
just
at first,
everything else about his personality was bad.
And Alex, honestly, is an insufferable character in a good way. But at the beginning, I was like, I honestly hate this person because his voice is so annoying and his personality is annoying. So I started off thinking I was going to hate this book, but Then I switched to, I bought the Kindle. I gave up on the audio about halfway through. I switched to the ebook, and I really started to like it. So I think it did have something to do with the voice, but also, I don't know, it won me over time. So I really liked it too.
Good.
I'm glad you did as well.
Well, okay, let's back up.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that are listening have at least some context for this book, but if you don't, it's the book in your bookstore that has the pink cover and then the red, white, and royal blue and then two guys. It was published in May of 2019, which I think is very important. This is why I mentioned it. Because this book centers around a fictional 2020 election, but not in a traumatic way. Please. This is not in a traumatic way.
And it's basically in a healing way where I'm like, actually, can I go live in this world?
Yeah.
This is what happened in 2016 was this world, and then we go on this path instead. I don't know. It's very and I think I read in the end of the book, Casey McQuiston said that this book started being written in pre-2016 election. So that offers a lot of clarity as well.
Yeah, it really does. So this book centers, like, one of the main events of the book is the 2016 election. This is written by Casey McQuiston. We've gone on record disagreeing about their book, One Last Stop, as we've mentioned, but we agree on this one. So the basic synopsis of Red, White, and Royal Blue is it is a romance story about Alex, the first son of the United States and son of the first female president, Ellen Claremont of Texas, and Prince Henry of Wales, the spare, the second son.
Very interesting, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Henry. Yeah. Alex is half Mexican. And his mom is white. His dad is Mexican and he's also a senator.
Yes.
And she's the first female president of the United States. She's
Queen.
She's about to run for re-election. She's progressive. She's breaking glass ceilings. She is doing it with a Southern accent. And
she's Texas, but she's Democrat.
Yes.
Amazing. And also, I just want to say, this, to me, is the biggest reach of this book. That in 2016, after 8 years of Barack Obama being president, that America decided to elect a divorced woman
with Mexican kids,
with Mexican children, and everything was just fine. There's actually another bigger reach that we can get to later, even larger.
We'll get to it.
But this is like, there is no way.
I think it's around, the size of it is so large, it's around 38 electoral votes.
Some might say one of the largest states in America would be equivalent to this.
Yeah.
Anyways, I said, read Spare as a chaser to this book for a more realistic depiction on what the crown will and will not let you do.
Oh, this was another huge reach. Like,
yes.
We're just getting ahead of ourselves.
Let's
slow down.
Let's continue the recap part.
The recap part. So Henry and Alex are rivals, ? Henry is the heartthrob of, England. Mm-hmm. And Alex is the first son of the United States who's 22 and cute and whatever.
Trying to be in politics.
Really into politics and stuff. And they have this incident at Prince Philip, who is like the equivalent of Prince William. So he's like the crown prince.
In every way, actually.
Yeah, and in all ways. Read Spare. Go listen to our episode on Spare.
Please.
This causes some bad PR for both entities. And so they have to kind of fake this PR friendship. And then, of course,
they fall in love.
But in the course of this friendship, Henry, who knows he is gay, he knows that, falls for Alex, and Alex discovers through the course of this book, the story of this book, that he is bisexual, and he realizes that some of his disdain and hatred and confusing feelings about Henry is actually interest, and that he's attracted to him. And so they start hooking up, and they're like, okay, I'm the first one in the United States. You are the Prince of England. So we have to keep this super casual. And for a while, it's just hooking up, but then, of course, they fell in love.
It turns into love. Yes. Exactly.
So how will this cause problems for international relations and for Ellen Claremont's re-election campaign? This is kind of the problem of the book.
Yes.
Will it come out? How will they handle this? Can Alex come out? Will then he force Henry to come out? And also his grandma is the head of the Church of England. You know what I'm saying? So there's issues.
Yes. And if we've learned anything from Spare, it's that this would never happen because
Ever.
All Harry wanted to do was fall in love with an American who is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that they would allow their spare to fall in love with a half Mexican American man is just, I just know that it would never go over. I mean, it would have to be a full abdication of the throne, which is not what happens in the end. In the end, it's kind of a somewhat happy ending where, you know, Great Britain rallies around this love story, and the queen realizes the error of her ways. And
okay, yeah.
So that's kind of the but
again,
it's kind of nice.
This is an ideal. This is like what we wish. Like, there's so many things. So this is at the same time kind of as the stuff with Harry and Meghan. This is also near the 2020 election. We are going through this trauma, whatever.
Yes.
This is like a rewriting of like the fan fiction version of our lives.
Yes, it is fully a fan fiction version of life, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And there's so many things I love. I think like also the side characters in this book are amazing. So I just want to spend a minute on them.
Yeah. So let's talk about them.
Alex has a sister named June who's kind of like a great foil to Alex, I feel like, because she's kind of like, I don't know that I actually want this political life. And she wants to be a journalist, but is kind of unable to because obviously conflict of interest, your mom being the president, is going to make it really hard for you to get hired as a political journalist. She kind of encourages Alex to just be whoever he wants to be and not feel like he has to be this perfect first son. And then I loved Nora, their friend. She's the daughter of the granddaughter, yeah, of the vice president, and she is also bisexual, so she helps Alex kind of understand his identity.
And they at one time dated.
Yes, former relationship, but they're not
briefly
anymore.
They're just really good friends, and the three of them are the White House Three. Like they are this iconic trio of besties.
And it made me think, this is why we need to get rid of old presidents. And sorry to Joe Biden, I'm not interested in Hunter at all. I want some young, smart, serious, Sasha and Malia, they were too young. I want a 20-something first son of the United States or first daughter. We need this in America. We need people to gossip about. We need the first family to be doing something that's not, illegal activities, just something fun to talk about. So let's abolish old presidents just so we can make something like this happen. And that's my plea to America. Let's elect some younger presidents with 20-something children.
For the content.
For the content.
For content reasons.
At the beginning of the book, Alex posts a picture of Prince Henry in his PJs. It's like the corner of his arm. And he posts that on Instagram. I mean, can you imagine? First of all, I know that wouldn't be allowed to happen because there's no way. The palace is locking down that stuff. But I was like, I would die. I would simply die if someone was posting this picture, I
know.
So we need that.
I'm feeling like Jenna and her twin sister, I forget her name is, the Bush twins.
Yeah.
That was before social media.
Yeah.
But they were around the right age, I guess.
You're probably right. So let's go for that. Let's shoot for that. I'm not
But
even
also let's respect their
young.
privacy if they want it.
Exactly. I think that's the other thing too. This White House 3 that we're discussing, they want to be in the public eye. They want to, they're going on campaign events, actively working on the campaign. They are the ultimate Nepo babies. Okay. They just get jobs on this presidential campaign.
Yeah. Alex, like in this book, he was not even graduated from Georgetown yet. And he's like, I'm going to be like the head of your Texas strategy.
Yes. And it somehow works out, which is, again, let's just jump to it. The actual biggest reach of this book is that the election comes down to the Texas vote.
And they got it.
and Texas goes blue. I said in my notes, this almost broke me. I literally cried when Texas went blue because it's so like optimistic, but not going to happen. And it's kind of sad.
But in 2019, that was
real.
The conversation about Texas going blue. And there has been a ton of work on to that end in Texas. So like, keep up the good work.
Right.
This is dripping in 2019.
Yes.
And 2018, when this book was going through editing and getting ready for publishing, there was a lot of hope and aspiration that Texas would go blue.
Right. But I mean, that's fine because like it's probably, you know, people are doing great work to change the politics of Texas and the electoral structure there. But like the idea that a 21-year-old son of a president Nepo baby is going to come up with the strategy that within, by the way, at the beginning of the movie, which I have a lot of thoughts about that movie, but we'll get to this.
Yeah, we'll get to the movie later.
In the movie, they're like, with 14 months until the election, we're going to see maybe how this campaign's going to start to unfold. What? 14 months away? And they're not even a thought about the campaign?
Right.
Like, this is, again, a different world that is different and better, maybe. So
I would be interested to see if Casey had a political consultant or somebody consulting on the writing of this book.
I'm going to guess not.
That would be, I mean, I don't think it was totally off, but I mean,
no, but it's like also, a fake world. So that's the thing. It's a fake world.
And honestly, look, the people who are reading this book are not reading it for the political accuracy.
And neither should we. So
yeah, it's fine. They get together.
Yeah.
And they decide, okay, we're going to do this. And his mom, so Alex has to come out to his mom, the president. But she was super supportive and awesome, which was great. And then she's like, okay, you need to figure out if you feel forever about him because this relationship will define your life.
Yeah.
And then
which
he kind of spends. Great
advice.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm going to support you. And no matter what, you know, if you want to go forward with this, no matter what it does to my campaign, I'm still going to support you. But for you and for your sake, you have to realize that what you're doing, you know, it's not a perfect world, even though this is a better world we're reading. It's not a perfect world. So it is going to define your life. And not only being out, but also your boyfriend being the Prince of England. So I thought that was great advice. Like, hey, don't rush into this. Take your time and find out, do you feel forever about him? And if so, we'll do whatever we have to do. And if not, then that's okay too.
Yeah, I think the other thing, and I've noticed this recently because I read another book recently that the main characters were college students. And I kind of felt that a little bit with this book, that now that I'm a few years older than the main characters. Yeah. I'm also thinking of this through the lens of them being 22.
Right.
And are they, I mean, not that 22 is not old enough to know if you're in love. I totally think that it is.
Sure.
But just, that's a huge decision. And you're kind of locking yourself into like being forever with this person.
Yeah.
When they come out as a couple, I mean, that's basically it. You can't really break up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, could they break up, do you think? Like, how would that go if they they dated for like a year? You know what I'm saying?
I almost wish that they had just been a little older. I kind of understand, I think, Alex being still in college.
You had to have a reason to live at the White House.
Yeah. So I kind of understand, but I just wish they were a little older because I feel like it kind of, I know you can be in love, but maybe like slow down a little bit because you are really young still. And
if they were not famous and like he realized he was bi, they started dating at 22, then they probably would date for 3 or 4 years before deciding to like get married or something.
Yes.
But in this, because of their situations, they basically have to make the decision, are we going to be together forever or not? Because the implications of them breaking up for like international relations and like the global economy matter a lot. So when they and actually, but I'm kind of wrong. They actually didn't decide to come out as in a relationship. They were outed.
Yes. Which this is a plot line, because you have a question in here about pacing. This plot line to me probably could have been cut and it maybe would have been fine. So the other evil guy running against his mom, Alex's mom, for president in 2020 is this guy, Senator Richards. And it eventually, photos of Alex and Henry are leaked of them kissing in the back of a car, and their emails are also leaked, which I would love to talk more about the emails. But
we will get to the emails.
Okay. So they're leaked, and basically this plotline was cut in the movie, which I thought made a lot of sense. It was too complicated probably to movify it. But anyways, I didn't love anyways, we can talk about the movie at the end. So, then this other senator who's working as a double agent in the campaign, the Republican campaign, he leaks to Nora, the friend, all this cachet of emails that is proving that the Richards campaign set up Henry and Alex to purposely out them, and they were the ones who leaked this. And then the press gets the emails about the campaign being evil and in on this, and that kind of helps Alex's mom, win the election. So it's kind of a whole complicated plot line, but yes, they are eventually forcibly outed by this.
Yeah, I would say I would agree about. There was a kind of, in some ways, it was doing a little too much. There was this Senator Luna, who Alex worked on his campaign, and
he was also openly gay
and super progressive in Colorado, and then he decides to be the VP candidate for the Republican nominee, and then everyone's like, "What?" And then he was like, okay. For your career,
campaign had dirt on him, so he had to go, but then he was going to be a double agent. It was too much, a little bit too much.
I think for your political career, that does not make any sense to me.
No.
I'm sitting here thinking, I am having to do gymnastics to figure out if him agreeing to be the running mate on a Republican campaign makes any sense for him politically, and it doesn't.
And it also doesn't really make sense. Again, this is a fake world. In today's world, this would tank the Republican candidate. They would not want an openly gay progressive senator as their VP.
Well, even when this book was written, that would not.
Yeah. So
a gay Mexican.
Yes.
Democrat.
His parents are undocumented. It's a little confusing.
There's no way, but maybe that's why Texas went blue.
Yeah. They're like, heck no.
But anyways,
that plot line, I thought that kind of threw off the pacing just a little bit, but I guess there had to be a way for them to be forcibly outed, because it kind of forces the conflict to come to a head in this book. But
I mean, they were forcibly outed, but they still could have made the decision not to move forward with the public relationship. They could have just played it down or said, oh, this was edited images, or you could deny it.
Exactly.
But they still decided to move forward as, no, we are in a partnership.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm like, I would love to see an epilogue or a little novella, revisiting. What is this like in a few years?
Yes.
Are you guys still really into this? Because really, you haven't been dating that long. I mean,
yes.
I love this book, but as a critique, it just seems like a lot of pressure to put on these two guys, one of whom wants to be the youngest person elected to Congress, the other of whom is imprisoned in this archaic royal family
how does this
structure.
Work out? At the end, Henry buys a brownstone in Brooklyn, and he's like, "Oh, come live there." And Alex is like, "Maybe I'll go to law school." In reality, there's no way. Again, after reading Spare, Henry would have had to fully abdicate, just as Prince Harry has done.
He would have to leave the royal
He would
family.
have to completely leave. They would not allow this to happen. They didn't let Harry do this. This was basically what Harry wanted to do, was continue to serve the royal family, but live in Canada. That was his proposed plan. Again, go listen to our episode on
Not
Spare.
even the U.S.
Canada.
Not even the U.S.
Yes,
Yeah.
or another
part of the Commonwealth.
Yes, another Commonwealth country like Australia or something. They said no. They have a lot of stuff they have to do. It is a full schedule. They're not just allowed to go chill in New York, even him not being the king. So again, this is a fake world, but he would have had to give up his titles and the money and the protection, and he would have had to do what Harry has done and just completely go away.
And then we would have gotten the Prince Henry version of Spare.
Yes.
And that would be so delicious.
Casey, write that book.
Casey, that would be great.
That would be
You should
amazing.
write that as
Spare
an accessory.
from Prince Henry's POV. Please. I'm begging you.
Oh my God, that's so good.
But I would love to know. I'm sure there is. Or you should write it. Anyways, I think, again, I too would like a follow-up, because I don't see how this is going to really work out in reality with the commitments that Henry would have, with Alex going to law school, which I do hear is incredibly time consuming. How does a relationship make
the
it?
pressures? I mean, they are with the press pressure and all that. I mean, they're really in a realistic world. This would be a very hard, and your brain isn't fully developed. You know,
like you're 21,
right? So, anyways, but this is not the real world.
Yeah, Texas went blue. So.
There's a woman president. She's divorced and has Mexican kids. And they all have Thanksgiving together, and it's cool with the American public.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyways. So speaking of, we started kind of this tangent because we're talking about, okay, they got outed, their emails got leaked. Let's talk a little bit about their emails, because this was one of my favorite things about the book was that there's multiple parts of the book where Casey writes their story via emails and text messages, and it's really funny.
Yes.
I tabbed a couple places.
Oh, I love that. Good.
So, for instance, this is one of the first emails, the first line of one of the emails is from Henry to Alex. And he goes, Alex, first son of masturbatory historical readings. The phrase "see attached bibliography" is the single sexiest thing you've ever written to me.
Yes.
So funny.
The banter is great. I thought, and I will say that about both One Last Stop and this book, I think Casey is really good at flirty banter, great conversations. I think that's definitely one of their strengths. So it comes through in these emails, which are very adorable and have you like kicking your feet, giggling while you're reading them.
Yes, it's so cute.
Yes.
And I will say one of the unexpected surprise treats of this book is that they kind of have, so Henry and Alex kind of have this cute little inside joke where at the end of their emails, they sign or they do like a PS with a quote from like a letter or a writing from a historical character who maybe did something kind of gay.
Yeah. Like real people.
Real people. Like
Alexander
Hamilton, John Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay. He loved his wife for sure, but that doesn't mean he didn't also love John Lawrence, because they sent some pretty gay things back and forth to each other. There's also one of my favorites that I tabbed here as an addendum to one of the emails was from Eleanor Roosevelt to Lorena Hickok. And she says, I miss you greatly, dear. The nicest time of day is when I write to you. You have a stormier time than I do, but I miss you as much, I think. Please keep most of your heart in Washington as long as I'm here, for most of mine is with you.
And they were roommates. Yeah, because the thing about this, which I thought was really interesting, and the thing about Henry especially, and Alex too, they both really think about their place in history and how people are going to look back on them.
Exactly.
There were definitely 100% queer people in history who were not able to. I think Alex is a really good representation of that, because he's like, what? I fooled around with my friend in high school, but I'm definitely straight. And you're like, yeah, no. But I think when you don't necessarily have the context for what you're feeling, or the language, or the ability to express yourself in any way, like, it makes sense that you have these romantic writings that are just between buddies. And it's like, maybe you felt something more, but you didn't know or have the words or have the ability to describe that. So I think it's really interesting, because Henry will be like, you know, this old guy in the royal family, and, you know, just kind of looking back on history and thinking how people are going to look back on them.
Queer people have always existed.
Exactly, yeah.
And that the history is not told.
Yeah.
And so this reaction that we see now of like, all of a sudden people are trans, or all of a sudden people are gay. In my day, people were just straight. It's like, they weren't, but their stories weren't told.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
didn't
safe
hear
for them.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, but gay people and trans people have always existed.
Exactly.
And I liked, you know, I think we often talk about fiction books that also teach us something.
Yeah.
And I think this was a great example of showing that without telling it. This wasn't like an essay on queer history.
No.
But it really made sense where it was sprinkled in.
Yeah.
In context to the story.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was like, oh, that's nice to learn about historical something, or I don't know. Yeah, but it wasn't like, this is a lecture and I'm annoyed.
Yes.
So it was really good.
One other thing we have to talk about for the emails is part of the controversy when their emails were leaked was that Alex sent them like from his home at the White House, the residence, on like a White House. They're on a White House server, but it's for like personal use of the people who live there. And there was like this funny like line, like a little wink wink at the audience, where Casey says, who would think that email servers could really influence a presidential election?
Yeah. No, literally the page where the first email appeared, when I first saw the first email, I was filled with dread. I'm like, This is going to haunt you. You do not need to put this stuff in writing. At least contain some plausible deniability, like flirt, but like don't make it so obvious, because these are going to be leaked, and I was proven right. So just, I don't know why you would do this. Because
please
you're 21.
Send them from fake email addresses. Please use aliases.
Use code names. Yes. Have a
you guys
secret
are both
language.
Too smart for this. Oh my God.
Yes. Anyways, it was horrifying. So.
Yeah. All right. Movie.
Okay. So we both watched it last night.
Yes.
I found this article that I will link in the show notes, that this is the quote I pulled from it. This movie definitely exists within an unholy Venn diagram alongside the Netflix Christmas universe. And that sums up all my thoughts. This gate was giving Netflix Christmas movie in a good way, but also in a bad way.
Okay. So I watched the trailer for this movie before I saw it, and the trailer was, this is going to suck. This book was so good. And I think going into it with really low expectations set me up for success, because I was pleasantly surprised. Although, here's my thing. I think that it was as good as it could have been for the budget it had. Yeah. This is clearly a low budget movie, especially there's one scene where they walk out and they're going to be like in front of a crowd. But they never show the crowd. And I'm like, oh, you guys couldn't pay the extras.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. A lot of laugh out loud moments that aren't supposed to be funny. But overall, I did like it. It's and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter be like, yeah, like LGBTQ plus community deserves like terrible rom-coms too. And that's what this is. It is a terrible rom-com, but I still love terrible rom-coms. So what's the problem?
Yeah. So they made a few choices in the movie. They decided to cut out June.
Which was sad.
I was sad about that, but I understood.
But also, you're going to cut out June. I don't know. It's always hard. This book, it does have a lot of plot lines. And I think it would have been better served in a series, because a limited series.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because there's so many like Nora is still in it, but she's completely reduced to like nothing.
Very sanitized.
Whereas in the book, she really is the one who comes up with this. She gets this email hack information, and like she's super interesting, compelling character. And in this, she's just like there occasionally.
They didn't have the time.
No, they didn't.
So, and they had to cut out
long.
Yeah, and they cut out Raphael Luna, the senator. Like they totally took that out and instead they combined the reporting aspect of June, like the journalistic ambitions, with weird backhandedness of Raphael, Senator Luna, and they made it into this weird like antagonistic gay journalist.
Yes. I didn't like that. That's what I would say. I did not like that change. I understood. I don't know. It just made him seem like a spiteful. Maybe he was, but it just made him seem like a bad journalist. And it was weird. It's like, Alex, you shouldn't be talking to the journalist. Like, you should know, you should be smart enough to know that nothing you're saying to him is off the record. That's not how that works, you know? Like, you're the son of the president. He's going to quote you on this. I don't know. He just seemed so annoying and spiteful for no reason.
Yeah.
So I love that.
That wasn't super well earned, I guess. But I see what they were trying to do.
Again.
And then also another interesting thing. In the book, which again was published in 2019, the queen is the head of the royal family, not Queen Elizabeth, because like Queen Mary or something. Everyone's changed a little bit. But in the movie, it is a king. And I was thinking, okay, they probably made the decision to do a king after the death of Queen Elizabeth because they didn't want to draw too much connection. So that was another change.
Also, the parents weren't divorced in this, which I'm like, I guess makes more sense to, if you're going to have a woman president, like maybe don't make her also divorced.
I think they didn't have time to explain the dynamics of the divorce.
But I did like how they still worked, because there's a line that I really liked in the book, and they kept in the movie, where the dad says, sometimes you just have to jump and hope you're not standing on the edge of a cliff. And I liked how they still, because in the book, you know, he's like, obviously we didn't work out, but like I still loved her, like she's still loved my life, your mom, and like I'm never gonna love someone like that again. But in the book, he's like, or in the movie, he's like, yeah, we were just kids, we didn't know what we were doing, and it worked out. I like how they kept that.
They had, something they had time to explain more in the book, but couldn't be really explained in the movie. So forgivable in my opinion.
The worst part to me, and I don't know, like as I'm watching this, it was already 2 hours long. So I don't know how they could have done it better. And there was already 30 minutes of the movie before they first kissed. But I felt like in the book, they really built up a very genuine friendship first. And it spent a lot of time of like Alex realizing like, I have never really made friends. I just have these people, my sister and this other girl I'm forced to hang out with because of our parents' jobs. And like, I've never made a lot of friends. You know, he had a friend in high school who he had been making out with when he was in high school and who was a male. And he kind of had this whole thing of like, wow, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize what that was. And I probably wasn't a good friend. And really beautiful story of Alex like becoming a better person. And I just felt like it's hard because I don't know how you fit that into this movie, but I wish there was a little more of that. I think it would have made it feel a little less fan fiction-y because the movie really felt like fan fiction because it's like, oh, we're just making out now. But in the books, they really built up this like really lovely friendship first. And I thought that was, I don't know, it just made it a little nicer.
Yeah, I agree. I think the movie, whenever they kiss, you're kind of like, what?
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit unearned.
Yeah.
They start communicating and like hanging out due to forced proximity. And then they're like, oh, wait, you're not that bad. We see a little bit of that in the movie, but I wouldn't. So I guess what I would encourage people, I mean, I know we basically just spoiled the whole book, but like if you had to pick one, I would read the book first. Yeah. Or I would read the book also. I don't think you'll understand the love and adoration around the story unless you read the book.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like there's a lot more build up. And then even like whenever they first start like hooking up, you know, it's basically just that.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's like this build up to like, oh, I'm actually having real feelings for you. And that feels like another section of the story where
exactly.
Which I actually really appreciate because I think sometimes in romance novels, which I read a lot of, sometimes it's just like instant and you're like, is it?
Yeah.
Can it really? It makes more sense that like they have their rival part, then their friendship part, then their sexual part. And then it's like, oh,
or
wait,
love.
I love you.
Yeah. I do feel like it's hard to convey that in a movie that, you know, there's a lot of other parts going on. So there's a lot you have to cut out. So I agree. I definitely think read the book and then watch the movie. And it'll be fun. It's a fun, like, again, if you like a Hallmark Christmas movie or the Netflix Christmas universe, as I do, I think you'll really like this movie because it's like...
Yeah, you will. I mean...
just no thought in your brain, you know?
It's not going to be movie of the year, but whatever. Yeah. One other thing we have to talk about is, so Uma Thurman is like oddly like the highest, like the most famous person or whatever, like on the... And she does this Southern... She's the president. Yes. Her Southern accent,
it's tough,
is truly, truly bad.
It's tough.
As someone who is from, as people who are from the South.
Yes, it is terrible. And
it is really bad.
And
there's no way she would get elected with that accent.
No, you got to tone it down a little, Uma, you know?
You have
People with Southern accents are mostly able to also reel it in a little bit when they're in a professional situation, but she does not do that at all.
It is... Like, I was thinking, okay,
it's bad.
George Bush is from Texas. Like, he had a bit of a Texas accent. I'm like, she should have emulated that a little bit more.
Yes. Just a little, you know, clean it up, Uma. But it was funny.
One other thing.
They have to really prove to you that she's from Texas. That's really a point.
One other thing that I have to mention, because as I'm watching this with friends last night, like we're kind of talking this out, like who do these characters remind us of? So Nicholas Galitzine, I'm so sorry if that's not how you pronounce his last name, is who plays Prince Henry. Mm-hmm. We're like, who does he look like? Who does he look like? And I know who he looks like.
Who?
An adult version of Prince George.
He does. He needs to play him in the biopic once he grows up.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
No, he does. Because he looks a little too like a young Prince William, so that tracks. But he looks exactly like an old Prince George.
He looks exactly like an old Prince George. And then we're like, okay, who does Taylor Zakar Perez look like? Who plays Alex? And I'm like, who does he look like? Who does he look like? And then my friend Lexi, who was at the thing last night, she goes, he looks like a younger, hotter version of Justin Trudeau.
Yeah, I could see that. I was
like, this is so correct.
Yes. Wow.
I know,
Yeah.
right? If you haven't seen the cast list,
Go check them out.
take that picture in your brain that we just painted, and then go tell us if we're right.
Yes. Yes. Also, the guy playing Prince Philip looked like the biggest, like, baby. Like, he was the weirdest looking little guy. It's kind of perfect. Like, that is who was going to be the king, the weirdest looking little guy in the room, you know?
Yeah, we didn't talk a lot about Prince Philip, but in the book, he's very like...
Both him and Princess B played a much bigger role in the book as well. His
Princess
sister,
B is his sister.
I was sad also what they did to her. They made her just this like lady.
Yeah, but she's actually like cool in the book.
Like,
but Prince Philip is like very like traditionalist. Like you just need to
sacrifice everything for the crown. It's giving Spare. It's giving Spare. Go read that if you like Red Wine and Royal Blue.
What we really need to do is like, not us, but like bookstores. They should do like a royal family starter pack. It should be like this book and Spare and like I'm trying to think. There's like another one that we talked about not that long ago. I don't know. Maybe like some Regency era books. Like sprinkle those in there.
Yeah. But really, I could not stop thinking about Spare watching this book. It's not obviously it is an added layer. It is definitely an added layer, but it's also like very similar to what Harry went through with just Meghan, you know, like just you have to sacrifice everything for the crown and you can't be your own person. And like Henry talks about in the book, he wants to like write. He doesn't want to do the military stuff. He doesn't like want to live this life. Like he's like, what would it be like if I was just normal? I feel like that's very Harry. Like he wanted to like go be a tour guide in Botswana, but like they made him join the military.
Right. He wanted to work at like a ski hut.
So, anyways, if you liked this, I think you'll like Spare too.
Yeah, agree. Anything else to say?
Nothing. I was really pleasantly surprised. I did not think I would like this book as much as I did. Especially at the beginning. I was like, oh my God. Alex really does start off as an insufferable person. Just so full of himself, so annoying. But he grows on you. So, and he changes for the better.
Yeah.
Like, falling in love with Henry helps him change for the better. So, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, and I think big takeaway, I need to be open to more like male romances because I have liked them. So
yeah. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Send us your recommendations.
I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong. All right. So that's our conversation about Red, White, and Royal Blue. Emily, what's a book you read recently?
Okay. I just finished this book yesterday as well. I went on a rampage. But it's called The Last One Left by Riley Sager. Or The Only One Left. Sorry. I was pulling that up. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. It is so creepy, so good. It basically follows this woman. She is a caregiver for old people. And I can never remember the main character's names, y'all know. So pretend I said her name just now while I look for it. And anyways, Kit. Okay. Kit McDeer. She is a caregiver. And her last patient died. And she was under investigation, cleared of any wrongdoing. But now, you know, the agency she works for has to take her back. But they don't really want to. So they send her to this assignment. They're like, this is your only choice. You have to take this assignment or we're firing you, basically. And she goes to this super mansion up on this big hill on the cliffs, they call it, where like the 1%ers live. And living there is Lenora Hope, who was accused of killing her entire family when she was 17. And she's the only survivor. All of her family was murdered. And no one knows what happened. The case is still unsolved. They didn't have enough to convict her, but it's like, well, you're the only one left. So, but they didn't have any witnesses. They didn't have a murder weapon. They didn't have any proof. So they never convicted her. But she has been basically a recluse and unseen since that day. And she's now really old. She's like late 60s, but she's had multiple strokes. She's confined to a wheelchair. She can't speak. She can only use her left hand. And she tells Kit, I want to tell you everything. She types it out on her little, she has a typewriter. And she starts to type the story of what happened that night. And so, like, you slowly get these reveals. There's, like, other staff in the house. The house is leaning off the side of the cliff. And, like, one day it's going to fall off. So it's, like, kind of tilted. So she's, like, always stumbling through the halls. It was so good. I'll say, like, I thought I had guessed the twist. But then I kind of did, but then it was like, whoa, no, what?
Oh, that's
And then there was
great.
like another twist, and then there was another twist. It was crazy. So it was really good. I literally read it all yesterday in one day. I couldn't like stop reading it. And it's pretty quick to get through it. Like it's not super long and the pacing's really fast. Like it's just goes. It's so good. Very creepy, but not like I don't like ghosts or paranormal. So it's not too much of that. It's more like just like suspenseful. So I think
yeah,
it's really
cool.
good.
I love it. I like that. I've actually been thinking, oh man, it's like mid-August now. I should probably start reading some books so that we can talk about them for our spooky season episode this year.
Exactly. So that should be on there. And now I'm reading a bunch. I put a bunch more Riley Sager on hold because it seems like I just really liked him as an author. So he has a bunch more like creepy kind of books. So I would say check them out.
Cool.
All right. What about you?
Good recommendation.
Yeah.
So I recently read The Celebrants by Stephen Rowley. Stephen Rowley is the author of Lily and the Octopus, the editor, and The Guncle, most famously. So I've read Lily and the Octopus and The Guncle, loved both of them. And so I was like, okay, gotta check out The Celebrants. Okay. Read it with a box of tissues. This is the story of a group of college friends, and there's 6 of them until the very beginning of the book, one of their friends in college, right before they graduate, dies. And they are all at his funeral. They're at this like family. They're one of the members of the group, their family house at Big Sur, and they're like, let's make a pact that we'll all give each other, like at any time we can invoke a funeral for ourselves while we're still alive, so that we know that it'll be a chance for us to get together when we need it. And we know that, our friends love us and we can be reminded of like the impact we have on them, because we never got the chance to say this to Alec before he passed away. He died so young. And so this group is kind of like, they don't stick together really, but like, they kind of are all over the country, but like years later, somebody finally invokes the pact, and then they all start kind of invoking the pact. One of the central characters, there's 2 central characters. They're called the Jordans. They're husbands. And Jordan, it's revealed very early in the book, so this is not a spoiler. This is a central part of the story. He is diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so it's kind of like, we're jumping back in time and to the present day, where Jordan is actually, getting ready. He's experiencing the end of his life. And we're jumping back at these like pre-funerals for different people in the group when they go through big things in their life and they like need a reset. Like, we're all going to get together and have your funeral. And it's just lovely. So we've said this before, but Stephen Rowley writes about grief in
so good. Like
such an amazing way.
It's so good.
It's just, and he writes about it in a way that's not just like, oh, I hate everything. I'm so sad. I'm going to go
beautiful.
cry.
Yeah.
It's so reflective and so lovely. And, there's humor and there's excitement. And, one nice thing about this book is that it is kind of broken up. Like, it'll be like, okay, here's, this happened in 2016. This is one of the funerals. Okay. And then we jump, oh, this is in 2018. So that's kind of nice. Like, it's just kind of broken up.
Yeah.
And you get to follow all the characters and like how their lives shake out. It makes you think about like those kind of friendships that you have where even if you don't keep up every day, like it's, you see your friend after like months or years, and you're like, oh, it's like no time has passed. Mm-hmm. Like those kind of soul tie relationships. I will say like the Guncle is definitely like lighter and funnier. This is definitely sadder.
Yeah.
It's about, 6 people's living funerals,
yeah.
But it's really nice and I love it. And, I did a little research. I was like, oh, what's Stephen Rowley up to? And I saw that, I can't actually remember if it's he or his husband, but have lived through 2 cancer diagnoses.
Oh,
so
gosh.
that his personal experience has informed this book.
Wow.
So he's really great at putting himself into it in like a really genuine way.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel like you're really striving for it.
Yeah.
So It's great.
I put this on hold. You text me about it, and just you talking about it makes me want to cry. So I can't wait. It'll be like 5 months from now before Libby brings it to me, but I'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, if you need an upper, don't read this book.
Yeah.
But
seasonal depression bug. Here we go.
Yeah, if you want to be like reflective and like wistful about the meaning of life, this would be a good book for you.
Great. All right.
All right.
See you all next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.